Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Today we're going to show how to reset the spring arm side of a Mitchell 302. It also applies to the 402. We have a viewer out there who's got one of these. Unfortunately, the one he has a non-functional bail. He opened it up and now he's asking for some help in putting it back together again. When I work on these, I always like to take the rotor off of the body. It just makes it easier for me rather than try to wrestle something as it's spinning around. And a word of caution, if you do that with this reel, there is a keyway in the center part of the structure that's going to fit in this hole here. And if you do not pay attention, you will lose that keyway, and if you lose that keyway, your reel will lose the anti-reverse function. So if you go ahead and take it off, make sure that you have that small part. That small part is rectangular in design with a circle on the back end of it. I don't have it on this. This is a spare rotor, and I'm not going to be taking it off of this reel at this point and to show you how to do this exercise. Before I get started, I want to thank our first responders and essential personnel and everybody involved in keeping us safe during the pandemic. It seems like we have another one, the Delta variant here, that's again gathering some momentum, making everybody a little bit uneasy as I start to see please wear your masks again show up in places that we were previously told it was okay to go without the mask. So please do your part. Thank you to everybody who's doing their part in medical and first responders and essential personnel and all of that. Your efforts truly are appreciated. So let's look at how this bail works, and then we'll get under to the showing the effect of how to set that spring. This bail has a pin mechanism here that when you open the bail, the spring here pushes that rod through, and that rod connects in the back here to that little indentation on the bail arm. And then when you go to cast, the little arm that's swung out of here, the bail trip mechanism is going to fire. I'm going to do it from this side, I guess. Like that, and it's going to release it. This one probably needs a little bit of oil. Okay, so let's just get to the point where our viewer is. Our viewer has a disassembled bail wire and a disassembled bail arm. Here's the bail wire on this side is a dead end. When you go to reassemble your bail, the bail belongs in this small point here. The screw belongs in the section below, and you can tell it very easily. This one is threaded, this one is not. The bail wire on this side will go into the top section just like that. If I'm having trouble with the showing of this, I apologize. The fellow asked for a closer view because, well, my hands got in the way, and my hands tend to get in the way a lot. Okay, so I'm going to remove the action side of this. I'm going to use a flat-bladed screwdriver that matches the slot, and we're going to take that off. Taking pictures is another thing that I recommend when you do the service work here. That way you can know what this is supposed to look like before you get started in being aggressive with this. There is a piece of the spring that comes into a hole in the arm. Let's see if we can get this closer here. Right here. It's the mounting point for the upper part of the swing. Now on this one you want to check underneath. You want to see where the hole is for the lower part. And that's the hole for the lower part of the spring assembly, and making that the way the reel is, it's at about the 1 o'clock position for a 302, which is the right-handed edition of this reel. So what you want to do is kind of what's going on here. You're going to have the tag on both sides. The one tag is going to go into the spring carrier just like this. Okay, so once you've mounted the first clip with the spring going through the hole, you have the second now. And the next part I like to do is pull the inside mechanism back, get the firing pin out of the way. So you kind of hold it with your thumb in here on the internal side. Line up the hole in the spring with that. Then you need to rotate around so that you clear the bump guard here. Once you do that, you want to switch your fingers so that you can control the outside of the bail arm. I hope I'm showing this okay. I'm controlling the outside of the bail arm so that the holes line up as close as they can. And you only want to start the screw. Now the screw's got a shoulder on it. It may not go in directly. In this case, I think it did. Okay. And now you should be set for your bail. We locked, and it will trip. You can see the throw, it locked, and it will trip. Okay, we'll do it one more time just to show. In case we ratted a frame or whatever. I'm getting famous for that. I try to do close-ups and then I wander off the camera. We've got two spring sides that show up, doesn't matter which one you pick. Grab the spring and seat the first one into the hole in the bail arm. Once you have that in, we're going to grab the rotor and pull back on the internal arm here to get the carrier out of the way. And I like to hold it back with my thumb. We're clear here so that there's nothing going on to interrupt this. Now we'll take the second side of that spring that's got the angle on it, and we're going to put that into the case. Just like that. You hold tension onto the side and you rotate the arm up over the stop. Just like that. Once you do that, you can release your thumb, bring it around to the other side so that your thumb and forefinger can hold as you align the arm with your screw hole. And then take that bail screw and start tightening that. Now there's a shoulder on that. There's a little bit of play that's needed to align that second shoulder of the bail arm, but you can see the spring is properly set. And we'll just bring it all the way around now. You'll see that the pin comes out now, and if you kind of push down on that pin, you've got the fire of the bail arm. So all that's left then is to bring the other side of this across. We're going to put that into the top hole. As we mentioned before, you've got a top hole on the bail. And take the lower screw, which acts as a retention screw for that free spool or the free floating part of the bail. Again, my hands are big. We're probably getting these in the way somehow. I'm just starting that screw, and that screw can go completely tight. And there you go. So that's how you set the bail of the Mitchell 302 and 402. Remember, if you take the rotor off to work on it, and I recommend that you do, that you're going to find a little keyway on the shaft. Do not lose that keyway, otherwise the rotor will not hold its place in terms of having an anti-reverse. Put that piece off to the side somewhere. Remove the dead side first of the bail arm. It's almost impossible to load the spring with that piece in there. Come over to this side, remove the screw, take the spring out. Now of course this one, in this case, that's already out, but there's two 90-degree tabs on that spring. One of the 90-degree tabs belongs in here. Put that spring with that tab into that hole first. Expose the 90-degree angle on the inner side And then with the bail arm on the other side of the stop, so that the spring is completely relaxed, hold the trip mechanism on the inside to keep the stud out of the way. Load the point, the second point, into the hole in the case, which is at approximately 1 o'clock. If the reel is sitting this way, it's up here. And then while you're holding that, just hold pressure on the bail arm so that you can allow it to clear this as you're turning this way to get this to clear that stud or that hump in the rotor. Once you do that, take your pressure off of the bail arm, release or trigger mechanism, move it to this side so that you can have pressure on the arm to hold it close to the case. Insert this screw and begin to tighten. About halfway to 3/4 of the way down, you may not have the screw hole aligned properly with the shoulder of the bigger screw. So just move it around a little bit until you feel it actually move out. That means it's crawled up that shoulder. And when it crawls up that shoulder, then you can finish the tightening on it so that you have a fully functioning bail. So I hope that's been helpful. I hope I've kept my big hands out of the way. And I hope that the video is enough to help you reset this bail arm. So this one is in response to a viewer question. If you have a question, maybe you're working on a reel or something, you're having a little bit of difficulty, leave it in the comments section. If I can answer it, I certainly will try to do that. If you like the video, please like it. And if you want to see more of these types of reel repair type videos, please subscribe. And if you do subscribe, hit the notification button. That way you'll see everything that I post, and you'll be able to make a determination as to whether that video is something you want to watch. So thank you for watching. If you stayed with me this long, I appreciate it. Thank you again to all of our first responders and essential personnel. And this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, wishing you great fishing. Please stay safe and have a great day.